Open your ears, strap on your thinking cap. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. It's time for Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He hits one deep to right center. That ball is out of here. The Yankees win the pennant.
If you're lying, then you must be half stepping. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J is back once again for a live show, y'all. Get down with us tonight, 804-402-2893. 804-402-2893. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J, live from LegacyInternetRadio.com, MixLR. We live from the den, y'all. We appreciate everybody that's here checking us out on Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. We're definitely happy and proud that you guys are with us tonight as you join us every single week from 7 p.m. until usually 7 to 9, but lately we've been going a lot later than that. But Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J is brought to you tonight live from the den on LegacyInternetRadio.com, and we're definitely excited to be here. We got a lot to get through tonight. National Football League schedules come out. We got some talk about that. We got the NBA playoffs, National Basketball Association playoffs, Missing Exploited Child. We got an abbreviated What the Hell, and then we got the Divas in the building, the Diva Diaries, led by Arthur Charisma, and we got two special guests, a couple of ladies that's going to be joining us later on in the show. So we're definitely excited to be here. Thank you so much for everybody that has joined us tonight. LegacyInternetRadio.com, live from the den. As I do every single week, I like to go around the room and introduce everybody, and of course tonight is no different. I got my main man in the room, Big Road. What's going on, Big Road?
Yeah.
Big Road.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. Just chilling.
Well, it's good to see you, man. You doing all right?
Man, just working hard, working like a, I don't really have a good thing other than the whole slave thing, and I don't want to really use that today.
Man.
But it's all good. Life is beautiful. Can't complain.
Life is beautiful. Well, it's good to see you. I'm glad to have you. We're gonna go around the room real quick and get these explanations of who we are out the way so that we can get to what we're here to do. We're going on over there to my main man, Carlton Banks. What's up, bro?
Nothing, man. I'm ready for this week.
Yeah, I know you are.
You know what we're doing Thursday?
Thursday night, yeah. I tell you, man, it ain't been the same for me since. It hasn't been the same for me since they moved it to Thursday nights when it used to be on, Sundays or Saturday. I'm sorry. Saturday, yeah. That used to be like our little thing, and they done went and messed it all up on us. But it is what it is and whatnot. We got the number one fan of Legacy Internet Radio checking in. Good evening, SY Butler. What's up, girl? Thanks for listening to us. She's saying good evening, man. She's checking in with us.
Good evening.
Yeah. So let's get right to it. We got a lot to jump through in the sports roundup here in the first hour of Ain't No Half Stepping Marcus J, live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio.com. If you want to be down with anything that we getting into tonight, call us at 804-402-2893 or hit us up on our fan pages. Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Hit us up on our personal pages as well as on the Legacy Internet Radio page on Facebook. Also, if you mobile or you in the crib right now and you about to go out and you think you can't listen to us further, you couldn't be further from the truth. If you pull up your cell phone, whether you got an Android, iPhone, whatever it is, you pull up the Winamp app on your phone. If you don't have it, download it from the store. And then when you go into Shoutcast, once you pull up Shoutcast, you type in Legacy Internet Radio. Legacy with a capital L, Internet with a capital I, Radio with a capital R, and you will get Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J on Mondays from 7 to 9. You'll get Enliven Radio 7 to 9 on Tuesdays, and you'll get the Green Room version 2.0 with Jay Grizzy and Lissa P on Wednesdays from 7 to 9. Ain't no ass step with Marcus J. All right, let's do this. Let's kind of go around a couple of quick hits from the National Football League. The first thing I want to get into, Carlton Banks, is the big trade of Darrelle Revis going from the New York Jets down to Tampa Bay. Initial thoughts on this? Good trade, bad trade? Who made out okay here? Who messed up? What's the deal?
Tampa Bay made an awesome pickup. They made a very good pickup from the standpoint of they secured their defense. The only problem is Darrell's health. That's the only thing that's in question at this point. He was cleared to run last week, but he made out like a fat rat because he showed up for Jets pre-camp, got paid by them, only to get paid by Tampa Bay in the same week. So he made out like a fat rat.
He did all right.
Now,
he did all right.
Jets, they get a first-round pick this year, which is a very weak draft in my opinion.
Yeah, they get a 13.
And then they get a conditional pick next season, which, what is that conditional pick? I mean, honestly, if he carries you to the playoffs, he get some interception.
The better Tampa Bay does, the better pick.
Yeah, the better the pick, but we're talking Tampa
Well,
Bay.
apparently, it's expected to be a third or fourth rounder, and they would have gotten that pick if Darrelle would have just walked anyway. So what this ended up being, Big Rule, was a straight up trade. Darrelle Revis for a 13. What's your thoughts on this trade?
We're slowly but surely seeing the old Tampa Bay Buccaneers come back. I mean, because let's be real. How much longer does Rondé Barber have left in the tank? Maybe 1-2 years.
He lasts longer than Tiki.
That's true. But what's going to happen is you're going to bring Darrelle Revis in and the corner, and he's going to slowly migrate to safety. And then I would not be shocked if they pick up in the second or third, maybe fourth round, another cornerback that they could cultivate for 1 or 2 years.
Right.
So they can move him in that spot when Rondé Barber retires. They put Revis back there. And that, sir, is an excellent game plan.
Yeah, it's a good game plan for Tampa. I think the Jets out their damn mind for making this trade. They had all the leverage. What was he going to do? Hold out?
Yeah, but the Jets are in rebuilding mode completely.
Yeah, but you don't trade your best player just because you're in rebuilding, especially when you made a commitment to Mark Sanchez, who I think we all agree, if we're ranking quarterbacks, is somewhere after 20. You know, I mean, somewhere after 20, I think is fair. And you just gave him $8 million, but you made it clear all along that you didn't want to pay Darrelle Revis. Now, I don't think anybody thinks that he's going to get all of this 6 for $96 that he just signed for, especially when 0 of it is guaranteed. But I think he's going to get at least that first 16 because they're not going to cut him in the first year. And depending on how he does this year, he's probably going to be around next year. So you figure $32 million when he wasn't getting nothing from the Jets. I think that Darrelle Revis and Tampa Bay came out pretty good. I think the Jets did what the Jets always do, act a damn fool, embarrass themselves, and now they just traded their 27-year-old best player, and they got nothing for it. Because who knows, like Carlton said, you got a weak draft, and you don't know what the hell you're going to get in the third round next year.
Well, see, I don't know if it's a weak draft. I would say it's a working man's draft. Simply because after the left tackle, it's a crapshoot. And the thing about this draft is you don't have a whole bunch of great players. You have a whole bunch of solid players that can go either from the first round to the fifth round. And I would say probably 75 to 80% of the people picked from the first to the fifth can possibly start next year for a team, depending on who picks them and what position.
Let's move on from Darrelle. I think we all kind of got our feelings out there. What I want to do is kind of take a quick dance around the National Football League, the highlights of the schedule. I got a few highlights for me. If you guys have any highlights, feel free to bring them up after we go through a couple of these. Then we're going to take our first break of the night, and then we got our first guest of the night that's going to join us on the live line to talk to us about the National Basketball Association. I think we can all guess who that special guest is going to be tonight. Baltimore is starting on the road. Baltimore, of course, is defending Super Bowl champions, start on the road. Which is bad. Well, I got my opinion on that. As usual, I'm going to go last on it. But they start out in Denver this year on the road. I'm going to come to you on this one first, Big Bro. I got my reasons for why this is what I would like to call a big game, other than the fact that it's the defending Super Bowl champions who always start at home on Thursday. This year, they're starting on the road on Thursday. What's your thoughts on this? Or do you have any, did this register for you in any way?
It did. I think that the NFL is stupid. I mean, because why are you going to put your defending champs on the road, number one? And then it'd be different if they're playing somebody like San Diego, maybe Chicago, but you put them against the team that they beat in the second round, you know, in overtime, probably one of the craziest playoff games in history against Denver in Mile High Stadium. If I'm correct, it is on a Thursday night.
Thursday night.
So you know the fans are going to be crazy out there. I don't think that's really fair, considering that since 2004, the Super Bowl champs always start at home. I think that there could be something brewing there that maybe the NFL really isn't cool that the Ravens actually won, and this is their way to stick it to them.
Carlton Banks.
The problem with not opening at home, that's where you're supposed to get your ring. You're supposed to get your ring on the first day, and you're opening things up, but maybe they're mad at Baltimore for giving away their whole defense. You know, it's just a slap to the face. You know me like I know.
Right.
We got together in the first game of the season.
Right. We always do.
Yeah, we christened that night. I mean, you got us in, as you say, South
First
Jersey.
Sunday.
No, South Jersey, Dallas, South Jersey.
Oh yeah.
And we came back and we returned your ring ceremony.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's fun. We talk a lot of trash, whether it be Thursday night, which some years it is, depending on who the champs are, and then if not, then you know, Carlton Banks and I, and one of our big homies, Big Joe, shout out down in the Queen City, have been doing this for a decade. Big Rue joined us over the past year, but we have been doing this for, about a decade. We have been doing these games, Carlton. Yeah. Here's what you guys don't know, because I was waiting to see if one of you guys brought this up, and neither one of you did. As a baseball fan, this is the only reason why I'm privy to this information, because I'm a baseball fan. The reason why, well, first of all, the schedules are set up, years in advance, and they don't know who the Super Bowl champion is. What they typically do is they make that quick tweak to the schedule right when the Super Bowl champion is crowned, and that Sunday game is moved to the Thursday.
What, the Orioles play on Thursday?
That's the first thing. But here's what it is. That's exactly what it is. The Orioles play on Thursday. If you've ever been in Baltimore to that area, you will know that it is probably one of the worst areas to park on the planet. It's just terrible. And Camden Yards, and I don't know the name of the stadium where the Ravens play, but those two stadiums share MC Bank. They share parking. So because they share parking, it was a nightmare for them to try to schedule two games at the same time. We know that the NFL game is going to be a night game. That game for the Orioles was also scheduled to be at night. But here's the other thing. They went to the Orioles and they asked them to move the game to a day game, and they refused. Now, even had they done that, well, first of all, a Thursday baseball game at 1 o'clock is not that uncommon, because that's what they call getaway day. A lot of times you got, unless it's starting a series on Thursday going into the weekend, a lot of times it's the end of a series. They start a new one on Friday. So they like to play that game early and then get away. Yeah. But the Orioles refused. I don't know that I have a problem with them refusing. Would I have liked to see them, acquiesce to their city neighbors? Sure, but I don't know that I have beef with them because they didn't.
No class.
I agree that there's no class, but it's one of those situations where you don't have to. It'd be nice if you did, but you don't have to hold the door for the sister. Be nice if you did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think unfortunately, had Baltimore not had the season they had last year, they probably would have been like, yeah, whatever. But now Baltimore's supposedly decent and supposedly a playoff team. Now they're just like, well, we can make money off Baltimore. So, no, you can't have it. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all still terrible. Y'all will never get past the first round ever.
Nobody cares. I don't know.
Get a ring.
I don't know if I would take it there. I think that
I'm going to take it there.
No, you would take it there. But
because I'm just saying, the Ravens Super Bowl champions, that's petty.
But see the thing, I agree with all of that, but I also think that we have an NFL mentality where we think the NFL is supposed to trump everything. We was here first. We ain't got to move. We don't have to move.
That's correct, but it's not even, and that's my whole thing. It shouldn't be about NFL. It shouldn't be about
It should be about Baltimore.
It should be about Baltimore.
But the fact that the reason why I brought this up, because I knew that once I explained to y'all why it didn't go down, I knew that at least one of you, Colin, you don't seem to care that much, and that's fine because I don't care that much either. I don't care that much either. Squad, right. And it doesn't matter what city it is. It could be the Yankees and the Mets or whoever it is not wanting to get out of the way of the Jets or the Giants. For me, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what city it is. I understand. I agree. It would have been nice for them to move, but. You figure the difference between a 7 o'clock gate versus a 1 o'clock gate in a mid-major city like Baltimore. That's a lot of money that they were going to be leaving on the table. Is the Ravens going to share some of that Super Bowl money with them? No. Are they going to pay them back?
They pay the city of Baltimore.
No, hell no. Ain't no half stepping, Marcus J. The next game I want to get into, and it's just a couple of more before we move on. Denver, staying with them in week 2. They play against the Giants at Giant Stadium. We got the Manning Bowl brothers playing Peyton and Eli. The first time since Denver, Peyton's been with Denver that the two of them are playing against each other. Carlton Banks, we know that you have a brother. We know that you have a twin. Big Rube, we know that you got 2 brothers, and I got a brother. What do you think, Carlton? I'll come to you first. If you were in the league, do you think that it would be difficult, not so much for you, but for your family, for you guys to play each other in such a large scale?
No, it wouldn't be difficult because you raised them to play.
Right.
And the whole thing is they play the same position.
Right.
So you're happy that both of them are on the field at the same time because, one, they can't play against each other.
Right.
It's not like it was Rondé versus Tiki.
Right. Where
Tiki could get hurt the other one or one could hurt the other one.
You know what I think about? I think about Owen and Brett, and I think about Stu and Helen sitting there watching. For those folks who don't know those names, those wrestlers, I think about them because they was beating the hell out of each other. I remember the WrestleMania. I think they went like almost an hour just beating the hell out of each other. Ruben, when you think about the Manning Bowl, forgetting that I happen to be a fan of one of these teams, that for the purpose of this discussion is irrelevant. As far as the brothers, I mean, do you think that it would be difficult to play against one of your brothers in such a high-profile game?
Not at all. I get amped for it because there's always, it's either one way or the other. Either the little brother is getting beat down a lot because an older brother's doing work, or vice versa. And you know what? Peyton Manning should have beef to a point because Eli's got 2 rings. He's only got 1. And sometimes, as big brother, you got to put little brother in his place. Even though you got 2 rings, son, I'm letting you know that my team is going to beat your team because I'm better than you.
Keeping with Denver, of course, we done hit Denver 3 straight games. Not so much that I'm a Denver fan, which I obviously am not. I bring them up because they've got interesting games. And in week 7, Denver goes to Indy. Now, we can say that him playing against his brother ain't that big of a deal because me personally, I agree with the 2 of y'all. I don't think it's that big of a deal. They make it seem like it's much more than what it was, but like with the Harbaughs coaching in the Super Bowl, I think that's the bigger deal than the brothers playing against each other. But Denver going to Indy, that's going to be a big deal, Carlton. Come to you on this one first. Peyton spent, I don't know how many years it was, 13, 14 years in Indy. It was very clear that the fans wanted him, but the ownership didn't. Now he gets a chance to go back to the town where he made his name. And everybody knows when you play in the league, regardless of what your sport is, we were talking, Ruben and I, yesterday, we spent a good portion of the day watching games. We were talking about Wade Boggs, who played for the Boston Red Sox, and we know that when he went to the Yankees and won that World Series, he wanted to beat the hell out of the Red Sox every time he played them. So I'm guessing Peyton feels the same way going to Indy.
Peyton going to tear that up. I mean, really? You gave him weapons. You have a defense. Granted, Andrew Luck, you were okay. You did pretty good for your first rookie season, but that's the house that Peyton built.
Yeah,
that was my stomping grounds. I know that field better than anybody out here.
Big Road.
So I'm gonna tear that ass up.
Big Road.
And I'm going complete opposite. I think this is the game that he shows that he is the man in Indy at this point. I mean, Peyton Manning coming home, it's gonna be some tears and all that stuff. Denver will lose that game.
I don't think that, I guess I would probably have to see how the first 6 weeks play out before I pick a winner in that game. But I do think that it's going to be very emotional, heartfelt when he goes back. He didn't leave of his own volition, so they're going to give him probably one of the most obnoxious standing ovations that I think we've seen in a very long time. It's not going to be like when what's the guy Favre went back to Green. It ain't going to be like that. You know what I mean? It's going to be big. Real quick, two last quick things I want to get to. I want to give some love to the Skins, and I give some love to Dallas. Coming to you first, Ruben. What is going to happen with RG3? Is he going to be ready in Week 1 against the Eagles?
Well, considering that they were nice enough to give us a Monday night game
against the Eagles,
you know, that first week, that's probably the most exciting game of the week because you'll see a couple different things. You'll see RG3 hopefully come back. See what he's going to do. You'll see the new Chip Kelly Oregon Eagle offense. You know, you're going to see Michael Vick probably for the first time in probably 3 or 4 years that he'll actually play in Washington. He hadn't played Washington forever because he's always hurt.
Right.
So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see the offenses, and more so it's going to be interesting to see the defenses because both teams have gone through a little bit of defensive change, and the Redskins were an average defense last year. Now to get back character, to get back Arakpo, I mean, it's going to be some problems. And then the Eagles got rid of a couple dead weight, so now as a team they have to come together. And then the first game they get to play is against a high-power offense such as Washington. It's going to be very interesting to see how this game turns out.
Colin Banks, we know that, Dallas with the big contract that Tony Romo just signed, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him to do big things there, to somewhat live up to that contract. It remains to be seen if he actually does that. I took a look at the schedule. I didn't see anything that jumped out at me. One thing that did jump out, if there was anything, was the lackluster game it looks like they got set up for you guys on Thanksgiving. Whether you're a fan of the Cowboys or not, I think we all get excited about Thanksgiving games, plural, especially since they've added a third game, which this year that third game is Denver and Baltimore, which I think that's going to be the game. That's going to be the game that everybody's excited about. But, did you see anything in the Cowboys schedule this year that got you excited about your team other than the fact that football's coming back?
We always play the Redskins, and that gets me excited. Hopefully I can go to that game in Dallas again this season, which is a beautiful stadium nonetheless.
It is.
And the biggest problem I have, again, is it's time for Tony Romo to shut up or put up or shut up. He's got his contract. Does he deserve it? No, he doesn't. I've gone on record in saying that it's his time to shine. He's got weapons. So to me, what really is going to dictate how well he does will be this Thursday night. Will Dallas pull the trigger and go after an offensive lineman to help keep Tony the chance? Because like I know, Tony can have a 3 or 4 touchdown game with 350 yards easily.
Right.
He has the weapons.
Right.
But see, the sack is the problem. That's what really has been killing him. Yes, he's a mobile quarterback. You've seen balls snap over his head, and he gets the ball downfield still. But it's time for him to be able to stand in the pocket, do what you've been paid to do, and win some games.
Right.
And then see too many. I would like to see a 10-6, 10-7. I mean 9-7, better than 9-7, but definitely a 10-6 at the easiest.
I think this year, with us all being NFC East fans, this year we play against the AFC West, so it should be interesting to see what we do against that division. It's a division, of course, we only play them every 4 years, so it should be fun. Ain't no how Steppin with Marcus. Jay, we're going to go ahead and jump into our first break of the night. When we come back, we got a special guest that's going to join us to talk a little bit about the National Basketball Association. He's special. That don't mean that y'all don't know. That don't mean y'all don't know who he is. Y'all heard from him before. We got the K-Dub Report coming up. Marcus J. Ain't no how Steppin live from the dead. LegacyInternetRadio.com and MixL. I'll be back in a minute.